New at 5, after spending nearly 3 years behind bars, comedian Bill Cosby is out of prison tonight. Cosby joining his attorneys less than an hour ago as they talked about his release. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturning his sexual assault conviction. It's a decision that came down to a technicality. 11 Alive's Joe Ripley spoke with a legal expert to break it all down.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube friends and family? Hope everyone's doing great. We got another edition of the Kenny and Manny Show. What's going on with you guys? Yo, Manny, how you doing tonight? How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm feeling great, feeling good, man. You know, it's another day, another dollar. Still grinding.
Gotta grind, bro.
Blessed to be alive, man.
Amen, amen. You know, shout out to the victims of the Miami Surfside. I mean, it was very unfortunate. I don't want to talk too much about it. You know, it's very unfortunate. Just you're in your home and then something unexpectedly like that happens. It's crazy. So my prayers go out to all the victims in Surfside, Miami. That's why we have to value the moment. It's cool that we're grinding, but we have to value the moment as well. Look at what you do have and not what you don't have. But speaking of having and not having, I don't know if you heard about the Bill Cosby situation. Oh, man. Bill Cosby, man. Bill Cosby, very talented guy, veteran, 83 years old. But oh man, Manny, I want to hear what you got to say, man, because I love the way you break things in. You an ESPN analyst, amateur. I want to hear it, man. What's up?
All right, man. So this one, of course, it's a tough one, bro, because I feel like there's no real winners in this particular case. I know his side of the world, you know, his family and everything like that. I'm sure they're happy that he's back home.
Right.
I know that the other side are devastated. You know, it's like a slap in the face, the fact that he's out. You know,
I agree 100%.
Yeah, man, it's definitely one of those cases where it's hard, man. It's hard for both parties. You can understand why they would be frustrated. There's gonna be also the extremist. Like I read a quote where a lady stated that there's gonna be a serial predator out on the streets because of this. I feel like that's a little bit too much.
He's too old for that now.
Yeah, he's too old, man. He's too old. And
Viagra can't even work on him.
Yeah, man. Come on, he could mess around and just kill himself. You know, messing around with something like that.
Pop a pill, he'll get a heart attack. Like,
yeah. You know, the reverses will, you know, the roles will reverse, right? Because he'll be the one drugging himself at that point.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man. But yeah, you know, I don't want to make too much fun of it, but I think, you know, it could be a little extreme where somebody said such a thing like that. But I get it, you know, you want closure, but he did some time, you know, I know he did some time. I know that it was from 3 to 10 years. I think he did what, total like 2 years, almost 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that, or like 2 and change.
Right.
At his age, those years are precious, man. That's like adding a multiplier, you know, in my opinion. So I feel like he definitely did serve some time. I know that he didn't, you know, one can argue and say, hey, man, he did a lot. But I also do understand that we do live in different times than you know, back in yesteryears. Not to say that that is acceptable by any means. I think you should still pay for your crimes, but I do know that, you know, people can justify, you know, anybody can justify anything to themselves to the point where they believe that it's normal, that it's okay. So I can see how a man with power, money, America's dad.
That's exactly what it is.
You know, I can see how they believe that, you know, it's their world and everybody else just lives in it. You know, it's their world. Everybody just lives in it.
Cash is king. Cash is king. Like Mayweather says, money's the only thing.
Yeah, man.
You think if he was a regular person, he would have been out? Let's say if he was an average Joe, you think he would have been out even at the age of 83?
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. They now kind of just getting into the legal aspect of it. Of course, you know, I've kind of just read up a little bit on it, not a whole lot, but from my understanding, he essentially negotiated by the district attorney's office that they negotiated his his confession, and that was supposed to give him immunity, and he would be exempt from any other charges. So this is how he was able to get, you know, his time. So he was gonna make it easy and not just kind of, you know, drag everybody through the mud, and kind of just cooperate. That was the game plan, right? I believe it was in 2005. Unfortunately, later on, the district attorney was removed and a new one came in, and they mentioned like, hey, this is not a valid negotiation process that we have in place. So they pretty much threw that deal out the window. But here's the thing: he already committed the or not committed, rather he already confessed, and he gave his you know, his portion of the deal. He essentially threw away his right. So by him doing so, he pretty much snitched on himself now, right? So, and by him doing that, the new district attorney was able to use that against him. So that's kind of where it gets a little of a glitchy situation now, because you have somebody giving their Fifth Amendment right in turn of a deal, and then this happens. So yeah, man, it's a tricky one, man. There's definitely a glitch in the system. It's hard to say if he was poor, if he could have beat the case. I'm sure that would have been much harder, but they definitely messed that up, man. While taking away his right and then using it against him. That was a little crazy that even happened. But so yeah, man, it's definitely a tough situation, because again, like I said, I don't think anybody wins in this situation. But man, what's your take on that, man?
I'm
Considering
gonna give you my personal.
all the information that we know.
I really admire your breakdown. That's why I call you the analyst that no one knows. You definitely should freaking apply for a job. Yeah. Love your analysis of how you break things down. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This is an indication that no crime you can get away with it. There's no such thing as a crime that you can never get away. I personally am not, although I'm a Bill Cosby fan and I like what he's done, very creative, but ultimately he did what he did, right? I put myself in the shoes of other fathers. If I had a daughter and she was a victim of Bill Cosby, you know, I personally would want justice. Like, you did what you did. And if it wasn't even just one victim, from my understanding, it was 12 victims. So is 3 years sufficient for the amount of victims he came across? We need to even reevaluate this dude, right? Because how is it that you have all this money, you have this clout, you have this fame, and you have to do this to women? It doesn't make any sense. And that's why I tell people, just because you have money, it doesn't mean that you have a successful dating life. You have to have a lot of other things. You have to be able to articulate yourself. You have to have that masculine presence. You know, I'm not here trying to be on a mentor or coaching, but a lot of people say, oh, I want to get rich so I can get all these women. It's not enough. It's a factor. It helps, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be ultimately successful woman. Because look, Bill Cosby, multi-millionaire, and look what he did to these women. I'm pretty sure if he would have used his charisma, he would have used his personality. I'm pretty sure he could have sealed the deal. But I guess I don't know what was going through his brain. But it is what it is. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I'm actually not satisfied with the results. I don't care if you get caught at 90, 80. If you do the time, if you do the crime, you must do the time again. If you do the crime, you must do the time. Granted, this is just my opinion. It is what it is. I respect your perception, but I don't think this is a non-negotiable. There's nothing that should be negotiated. If you did the crime and if you're guilty, there's sufficient evidence that you did do it. It is what it is. Now, switching gears, I get it. Women, it's a sensitive issue where they can't just come out in the open and say, hey, this person touched me, this person touched me, this person touched me. But if something, for those of you that are females and you're watching this, if something happens to you, don't wait. Do not wait. I get it. It's delicate. It's a situation that you don't want to touch. But if it happens to you, do not wait. Because what happens is 12 victims, right? Let's say if the first person would have done something about it, there wouldn't have been 12. So although you're not processing it, and you're like, oh man, it hurts me, but you're saving other people from being victims from people like this.
Exactly, exactly.
So tell me what you
Now,
think about that, Mano.
well, let me ask you this. What now? With that said, what do you think about? Um, do you think there's any victims in there, or that are technically not victims, that are trying to take advantage? You know, see if they
Could be
can
a
get anything out
possibility.
there. What do you think? What is your take on that?
Could be a possibility. Let me tell you something. When you have money,
Hmm.
right? I mean, we can definitely say that. Let's say if Bill Cosby was just an average Joe, and one person came out in the open, would there be a domino effect where a bunch of other women came out in the
Right.
open like that? That's something to really think about. I'm not saying all 12 had intentions of getting justice.
Hmm.
Maybe some of them had intentions of getting something out of it from a financial perspective, but I'm not in their brains 24/7. But that's something to think about because throughout many years, many celebrities have been falsely accused of rape.
Hmm.
R.I.P. Kobe Bryant. He was
Yep.
accused of being raped. And I'm like, Kobe Bryant, tall guy,
Yeah.
good looking guy, 6'7", multi-millionaire. He doesn't need to rape anybody.
Exactly.
If anything, he's probably gonna get raped because he's such a high charismatic, good looking guy. So it's like,
Yep.
why would he need to do that? So this is why we need to be transparent because when things like this happen, we can't tell. This is what's tricky about the Me Too movement.
Yep.
And you don't know who's being transparent, who's not being transparent. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell women, like, if you feel like you've been genuine, if he's made advancements and you said no, do not wait. Because what happens is if he thinks he can get away with it with you, he's gonna do it to Susan, Rebecca,
Yeah.
Veronica, and it's gonna be an ongoing cycle. Let's save other victims. If it happens with you, it
Exactly.
starts with you, end it. Stop the cancer.
That's right. Stop the bleeding right away, man. Don't wait,
Mhm.
because you can avoid situations like this at least, or at least maybe if you don't avoid it, at least you can deter from happening to others. Kind of
Right.
slow it down and stuff like that, man. So now I agree with you around that, because it's
Let me see that
crazy,
code. Let
man.
me see that code. What you drinking? What you drinking?
Man,
What
you
you
know what
drinking?
we got going on right here, man. Let me
Woo!
talk to you.
I got to get on my code game, man. I got my water, but I got to get that code game.
You already know, man. Shout out to Code, man. Holla at us, man.
Coca-Cola sponsored this guy, man.
Yeah, man. I need that. I
You're
need
going
the
to have to do that
lifetime.
video showing them your Coca-Cola room. I don't think anybody has a room with Coca-Cola, man. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody
man.
fucks with Coca-Cola more than you, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to show, man. I'm gonna have to. We'll make a video about that some
We'll have to
point,
do a
man.
podcast of you in your Coca-Cola room, man.
Yeah, man. Coca-Cola. Shout out. Holler at me so we can get that. Deal going. Lifetime
That
supply.
lifetime supply, man. He's not even asking for money. He just wants lifetime supply of Coke.
Give it
This
a
guy,
lifetime supply, man. That's what we
no, that's
need,
just
man.
what it is. That's just what it is. But yeah, but now transitioning to dating, like
Yeah,
men
man.
need to realize money helps, but it's not everything because look, Bill Cosby was still a weirdo and he was still doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
It requires more. Money is definitely the foundation. You want money for you. It definitely increases your confidence, but you cannot rely on it like a pillow or a crutch. So let that be a lesson to guys that just because you have money, that doesn't mean it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get the women. Maybe Bill Cosby did try to get the girl, and the girl said no. He was like, yo, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want anybody telling me no. So you know what? I'm gonna drug your drink.
Sure, your drink, man. That's crazy. Nah, from my understanding, he was still getting his stuff, man. He was still getting it. But I don't know what kind of sick stuff he had going on. He must have had some sort of a fetish or something like that. I don't know what he
It
had
could
going
be.
on,
It
because
could
from my
be.
understanding, he was getting it. So I don't understand why he would go above and beyond like that.
It could.
Unless crazy stuff in his brain, man. So hopefully he gets that checked out.
Yeah, this is all another indication that just because you see celebrities a certain way on television, that doesn't mean that they could possibly be weird people. Let me tell you something. I've met a few YouTubers that they seem charismatic, they seem punctual, and then when I met them in person, they're just socially awkward. There's something off. You could
Mm-hmm.
tell that there's something wrong. And I've noticed that a lot of content creators and celebrities, I guess, due to the fact that they're constantly in front of a camera speaking to themselves, or
Mm-hmm.
they're just living a certain lifestyle, they become weird. That's why I decided if I'm gonna be persistent with this YouTube thing, it has to be a podcast because at least we're conversing, we're normal, we're doing what we're doing, because I personally, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it really is, man. But Yeah, that's the dating in general, man. Dating is like it's all over the place. There's so much dynamics to it, you know. Um,
Speaking of dating, sorry to cut you off. Did you hear
no.
about what happened? I saw some a video on World Star of some dude that a girl rejected his marriage proposal, but he still bought her a car. So I mean, it correlates to what we're talking about: men
Mm.
relying on money as a crutch. He literally, she rejected his proposal, and he still went out his way and bought her a car. What? How do you feel about that? I definitely want to hear you.
That's fucking
That's
crazy,
crazy.
bro. Actually, I did not see. I saw the title of it, but actually, I didn't click on it. But I did see that. But funny enough, that you mentioned that because I was kind of gonna head the same direction with that video you showed me about the pimp. You know, talking about girls. You know, to date girls that like you, or you know,
Right.
or be with girls that like you rather than you chasing girls that don't like you because now you're fighting an uphill battle. So kind of correlating to that guy with the with the whole marriage proposal, that dude is already upside down, man. So you're putting a whole car for a whole bitch that don't even care about you. So part of my language, ladies, but that's crazy that you're gonna go ahead and buy this female a whole car. That's ridiculous, man. That is pointless. You're wasting your time. I'm sure there's other options out there for you, man. You're not looking in the right places. You gotta keep on trying, and you'll find something that works for you, man. Because you shouldn't be buying a car, man. What kind of that's? Imagine if she says yes. Then what happens now? What do you do from this point on? So you're just gonna keep on, every so often you're gonna, renew the lease, get a new car, and what? Exchange for what? Makes no sense, man. Just move on. You'll find something, that works for you, bro, without having to buy a car.
So let
That's
me ask you,
crazy.
if you was a multi-millionaire and you had money to drop, would you buy a girl a car?
If she likes me, if she's part of the, because at that point, if I'm a multi-millionaire, I'm telling you straight up, we having one for every week, for every day of the week. At this point, if I'm a high value man, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. Nah, man, I'm just capping. But shit might be.
I'm glad that you mentioned that term high value, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I got a couple questions because I mean, I definitely like to hear your expertise on this shit because people throw that term loosely. High
Hmm.
value, high value. I mean, I'm all over YouTube and people's like, I'm high value, I'm high value. What is your definition of high value? And do you consider Bill Cosby as a high value person?
Um, that's a good question, man. Bill Cosby, considering what's happened to him in recent time, definitely not. He certainly was at one point. I feel that high value is more than just being a six-figure earner. It's having the total package, right? It's having the whole,
Exactly.
the 9 yards, as they say. You got to have the money. You got to be charismatic. To a certain degree, you got to have a little bit of sex appeal. Hopefully or preferably, yeah, you could be over 6 feet tall and be in shape. But if that's not the case, you want to try, right? You don't want to be, 500 pounds and 5'5", right? You have to put some effort. So it's just not strictly about being a high earner. You got to be charismatic, preferably look a little somewhat attractive. Um, and you just can't be a complete fucking asshole, man. You have to be able to be a people's person, right? A lot of people think that it's just being strong and just making a lot of money, and that considers you a high value man
That
and
is such a
an alpha
misconception.
male.
That's what
Uh,
pisses me off. Everyone thinks gym money, I'm alpha.
that's
That
it,
is
yeah, man. It's like the
that's
GTL, from like
Jersey Shore
Jersey
days.
Shore,
Jersey
man.
Shore days.
I mean, they had a great concept, as far as like working out, tanning, and doing the laundry. That's
Right.
one aspect of it. But you also have to have the money, and you got to,
Compassion and emotional intelligence,
yeah,
which a
man.
lot of these dudes do not have. You
It's
can
crazy.
make money, but you cannot teach character, bro. I'll be honest with
Yeah,
you. You can have all the money in the world. If you don't have emotional intelligence, if you guys don't know what emotional intelligence is, look it up.
look it
But
up,
if you're
man.
too lazy and you don't want to look it up, because we know a lot of you guys have short attention spans,
You know who
it's
you are.
okay. Been there, been on that road. change that shit. Okay. You got to realize that it is what it is, man. I don't know. I'm not going to tell people because they're just not going to listen, bro. They're just
No, man,
not.
I'll say this. Yeah, that's a key point you hit, man. That's definitely a very strong point. Emotional intelligence, man. You can get further in life with having emotional intelligence than having just, like your regular, book smart. People don't realize that, book smart, yeah,
Right.
that's great. But if you're working with other people, which primarily you're gonna do, you're always working with people, whether it's directly in, with your work or just living, unless you completely seclude yourself in a corner or outcast in an island by yourself. You're gonna always deal with people, man.
You
And
always
emotional
gonna do
intelligence goes hand in hand with that. So please, do yourself a favor, look it up, read about it a little bit. There's even courses on there, man, that really helps out a lot. And that's kind of part of him, again, part of the package, man, for a high value man. So to answer your question, I know it's very long-winded. No, I do not believe that Bill Cosby at this time is, because of the things that he's done. Um, but there's other, that he was at some point. And again, it requires more than just money and fame to be a high value man. Although the just fortune and fame could get you most of the things that a high value man can get you, right?
right.
So that's that, man. But yeah, man, that just that's how it goes, bro.
That's how it goes, guys. So, guys, there you go again. That's a second episode of the Kenny and Manny Show. Much love to all of you guys. If you're new to this channel, like and subscribe. The topics that are covered here, phenomenal. Sports, trending topics, whatever you name it, we cover it. We break it down, just giving you our perspective. Just so maybe there's a certain way you don't look at things, we could probably bring some light. Okay. So much love and have a good one.
Hey, actually, one thing I want to point out, man. You guys got to keep in touch with these games, man. CP3 killing it. They took game one, so let's see how it goes, man.
Hall of Fame point guard, man.
Hall of
Fame
Famer
point
right
guard.
there.
First of all,
At
shout out to
least,
Chris Paul.
yeah. Shout out to
Shout out.
CP3, man. Top 10, top 10, for sure, top 10 in the league, man, of all
He is
time.
the definition of not giving up. And if you eventually work hard, look, man, he's been in the NBA for what, 13 years, 15 years? He got drafted 2006. We're in 2021. It just shows when you want something and you're striving, you're eventually going to get it. And look, he has his opportunity to win his first ring, right? This is going to be his opportunity to probably win his first ring, right?
That's it, man.
Does he have in the Suns? To be honest, what, Devin Booker? That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, Devin. Yeah.
Without a superstar team, it just shows that he doesn't have superstars. He doesn't have the Monstars. He doesn't have the Kevin Durant's. He doesn't have the Currys, the Thompsons.
None of that.
It's just what Devin Booker. Yeah, solid. They have a solid backcourt. I think they have a decent big man. I'm not too familiar with Rob because I'm not a Suns fan, but CP3, man, it just shows when you have a solid floor general. Oh, we definitely going to talk about that. But we definitely going to. That's going to be the next episode. We're going to talk about NBA. But see, guys, we talk about everything, man. We talk about everything.
Man. CP3 and Suns in 5. You heard it here first. All right, man. You guys take it easy. Deuces.